Welcome to Kojo's Pre-Algebra, and today we're going to be working on finding equations of lines. And we're going to do that when you're given certain pieces of information. We're going to talk about when you're given the slope and the y-intercept. We're going to talk about when you're given the y-intercept and one coordinate point, how do you write the equation of the line. And we're going to talk about when you're given the slope and one coordinate point. Remember, when you write your final answer of the equation, it must always be in standard form. And what's the rules of standard form of an equation? No fractions, and the a, or the coefficient of x, must be positive, and it should be written in ax plus by equals c. So let's move on to the first example, where you're given the slope and the y-intercept. Now, if I give you that, that should be a piece of cake for you to do right away, because you're going to use slope-intercept form y equals mx plus b, because if I give you the slope and the y-intercept, you're done, except for plugging it in and then rewriting it and manipulating it so you can have standard form. If we know that m is -2/3 and b is 6, we plug it in. You would need to show that you're multiplying everything here by 3 to put it in standard form. And then from here to here, you don't need to subtract and add and all of that if you see that the answer is 2x plus 3y equals 18. ax plus by equals c, there are no fractions, and the coefficient of x, or the a, in standard form is positive. So that one should have been fairly easy, just a review. This one, however, can get a little sticky. If I give you the y-intercept and one coordinate point, now you need to start thinking about manipulation. And you want to plug in what you know to find out what you don't know. You're going to plug in what you know. We know that we're going to know the y-intercept. We don't know this yet. And the coordinate point. And we're going to use slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, because that tells us if we have an equation in that form, then we'll be able to find the slope and the y-intercept. So if we plug in everything we know into this, then we should be able to find the missing thing, which is the slope. We need y-intercept and slope to write an equation of a line. If we're not given that, we can manipulate this in order to find the missing slope or the missing y-intercept. Here we're missing the slope. So I plug in -3 for b, and when x is 1, y is 4. So I'm going to replace the values of x and y with the values 4 for x and 1 for y. 4 for y and 1 for x. And I'm left with m. m is the slope that I don't have yet. And then I just solve this equation like I do for any variable. I'm going to add 3 to both sides and I get 7. And you can do this work. This is the work you can show. You don't have to do all the steps unless you need to at this point. You see that we know the coefficient of m is 1m. So when we add 3 to both sides, that's the slope. We're not done though, because we have the slope now and the y-intercept, and we need the equation. So we need to now go back to y equals mx plus b form and plug in the slope and the y-intercept. We're done with the coordinate point. That just helped us to find the the slope that was missing. So here we go. We plug in using y equals mx plus b, and yes, you have to put that down on your paper so someone can follow what you're doing. So the slope is 7. And the y-intercept is -3. So now we have the equation, but we have to manipulate it and put it in standard form. ax plus by equals c. There are no fractions, and a is positive, which is the coefficient of x. Again, if you can manipulate this to here, do it. You don't have to show all the work unless you need to. This is a positive 7x, so I'm going to bring the y over, minus y, and take the 3 to the other side. 7x minus y equals 3. So that's when I give you the y-intercept and a coordinate point. Well, what if I give you the slope and a coordinate point? You're going to do the same thing. You have to find b. Now remember, this is all the work I've already done. So here's what I give you. Y equals -1/3 is the slope. M equals -1/3, which is the slope. And the point 6, 5, x is 6, y is 5. Find b. So you want to plug in what you know to find out what you don't know. You'll use the form y equals mx plus b. Well, we know the y value is 5, and we know the x value is 6, and we know the slope is -1/3. We don't know b. So again, we solve it like any equation where we're trying to find the answer for a variable. Negative 1/3 times 6 is negative 2. So here I showed some work because I don't want to make any mistakes. It gets a little, when I have these fractions, you know, I like to take my time and show my steps. So I'm left with 5 equals negative 2 plus b. I'm going to add 2 to both sides, and this b equals 7. So my y-intercept is 7. So now I have my slope and I have my y-intercept. I'm done with the coordinate point because I just needed the coordinate point in order to find the y-intercept. I'm done with it. Now I plug in just the slope and the y-intercept to y equals mx plus b. And I get y equals negative 1/3 x plus 7. I'm multiplying everything through here by 3. I wanted to show you that. Again, you know, I like to show my work for my fractions. I get 3y equals negative x plus 21. And then I'm going to say, oh, I need to take the x to the other side. So my standard form is x plus 3y equals 21. Now remember, there's a couple things when you're given this type of information to write an equation of a line. You want to remember to plug in what you do know to find out what you don't know. And you're going to use slope-intercept form to find the missing slope or the missing y-intercept, which is m or b. And you're going to use slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. Once you find, or once you have found the missing slope or the y-intercept, then you're going to plug it back into the slope-intercept formula, y equals mx plus b, so that you can write a standard form of the equation. Okay. Those are the things that you need to take away from this lesson. I want you to try these. Pause the video, and where you have slope equals negative 4/7, y-intercept is 10, slope equals negative 5, and you're given the point 3,2. Y-intercept is negative 1/7, and you're given the point the point 6, negative 4. Stop, pause the video, and come back, and I'll give you the solutions. Okay, welcome back. Well, for the first one, you should have 4x plus 7y equals 70. For the second one, you should have 5x plus y equals 17. And the third one, which got a bit sticky, didn't it? You should have 9x plus 14y equals negative 2. If you have any questions about those, bring them to class. In fact, bring 2 things that you learned about writing equations of lines, given this lesson, when you're given 1 point and either the slope or the y-intercept, or, well, you should understand this if I give you the slope and the y-intercept, but when you're trying to find one of the missing parts, and then bring in 1 question that you still have. And still, if you have questions about any of these, bring those in as well. And have a great day, and I'll see you in class.